This is an M-rated game, so viewer discretion is advised. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition. Alright, this is a review I've been wanting to do for quite a while now. A lot of you may know my love for this game. I believe I've referenced it in previous game reviews or live chats. But let's get this out of the way right now. Is The Witcher 3 a great game you should buy? Yeah, absolutely. I don't personally like action RPGs, but I fell in love with this. And that's mainly due to the story, and the way it made even the most generic side story have a purpose and make you want to find them all. Now first off, I do need to say this is going to be a review of the game itself, not necessarily the Switch version. I will talk about the Switch version and the downgrade in graphics and the upgrade I think in text boxes. But overall, it's going to be about the game. The video is just random parts that I played in the Switch version. I played 2 to 3 hours in it, as I never planned on playing it longer than that, other than to get the feel of the differences. I first played this on the PC, and I have a fairly low gaming PC. So the Switch version of this didn't really feel that much different when it came to the graphics. I did eventually replay this on the PlayStation 4 about a year ago when I bought the complete edition for $20, and the graphics were way better on the PlayStation 4, and I actually finished the game again, as well as the DLC. Honestly, though, if I had known the Switch version would have existed, I would have never bought it for the PlayStation 4. I bought it because I wanted to try out a console version of the game. I just never thought for a second there would be a Switch port of this. You play as Geralt of Rivia, a witcher who basically is just a monster hunter. It was a little confusing knowing nothing about the series coming in and him being called a witcher when he really has nothing to do with witches. He gets tasked with finding a girl named Ciri who's on the run from a group of people called the Wild Hunt. You travel through multiple open worlds where you can help people along the way, accept jobs, or just follow the story. The game really never pressured you to follow a set path. It sure did encourage you, but it never made you do it. Now this is quite a long game. To finish the main quest, it took me about 50 to 60 hours. Then the DLC added another 20 to that. My first time playing it, I mainly stuck to the story, but the second time around, I wanted to see how many side quests I could do. What's even better is the way your choices matter. Sometimes you won't find out for hours if some of the simplest choice you might have made had some major ramifications on the world that you're exploring. In the beginning, you could choose to start playing at the start, or you could just jump into the DLC. If you do start at the DLC, you'll be given all the stats and equipment that will get you ready for that story level the DLC portrays. However, all the main story quests are locked away if you choose this option. And if you want to play that, you're going to need to start from the beginning. There is sort of a skill tree that you can upgrade your spells, attributes, and physical attacks. There's an absurd amount of things you can collect, which can be used to brew potions or oils that you can use to give yourself an advantage in certain fights. So let's talk about the differences I saw with the Switch version. I'm sure this isn't any surprise to anyone, but the visual quality isn't great. It's just okay. To me, this isn't that big a deal though. But to people who like pretty graphics and lush open worlds that you can look at, this is going to be a deal breaker for you. There was a lot of pop-in, and some of the cutscenes were a little jerky when it was animating. Now, playing the PlayStation 4 version, I do believe this is true, but I could just be crazy. But I think the Switch port has better text. This might sound odd. It was a welcome sight to see very readable subtitles and text box choices. As an old man of 44, my vision isn't what it used to be, so I much appreciate this. Now, before you guys comment, I know the Switch has a zoom-in feature, but I shouldn't have to do that every single time. Why not make it an option to make text boxes larger? Handheld mode was fine. When I played it on the handheld, it felt as though it was just slightly too small though. Graphically, I think it looked just fine. As it was on a smaller screen, the lower resolution was harder for me to see. What I was really surprised about was the loading times. They were always a bit long on the PC and PlayStation 4, and I was expecting a much longer wait on the Switch, but it felt about the same as always, which is actually really impressive. There isn't much to dislike about this game. However, if I had to choose something, it would be the kissing. It looked like when you were a kid and you had two dolls and you just slam it up against each other to kiss. No matter what version you play on this, it was always an issue. It just looked silly. I know it's a weird thing to complain about, but every time it happened, I was just laughing at it because it looked like two people who've never kissed before and never moved their mouths. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition was a ton of fun. It was great to see that the Switch version had everything intact, as the Switch tends to get inferior versions of popular games. Everything you've come to love in The Witcher 3 is here, and this time, it's portable. Now, of course this game is worth a buy. However, unlike the new Dragon Quest XI title, this doesn't have anything new to offer than being able to play this on the go. So is this worth a rebuy? Well, I think the answer is probably maybe. If you had the ability to transfer your save files from your other versions, this would be a no-brainer. However, that doesn't exist. This would be starting all over again. If you already own this, I would just skip it unless you really want to play this on a vacation or a very long flight. But if this is your very first time playing this, I would seriously tell you to consider the Switch version when it goes on sale. I do think charging $60 is a bit much. Wait for it to come down to about half that price. Then if it interests you, yeah, go for it.